talking about people telling you we're waiting. So that is my QR code. It takes you to my link tree that has every way to connect with me. Got Yelp, Zillow, MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, it's all on there. So I'd love to connect with you guys, but let's get started. So when you hear we're waiting, I want you guys to think about exactly what to say, and I want you guys to prepare for it. If you've been with Tom Ferry, if you've been with Bill Pipes, if you've gone to any coaching seminar, you've probably heard of this book called Exactly What to Say by Phil Jones. And I highly recommend it. It was a game changer for me when I read the book. It's a short read. I think it's like 90 pages or something like that. Um, and it teaches you a couple of different things. Whenever you hear we're waiting, it's people saying that they're uncertain because people only wait when they don't have enough information or they don't have confidence in making a decision to move forward. So you as an agent, your job is not to convince them to change anything. Your job is not to convince them to do anything. Your job is to educate them and guide them to be an advocate for them, but also to help give them the confidence in order to make a decision. So what this book will teach you is being curious enough, right? So you got to start off being curious about everything. You got to ask people questions to get to know more about them. Whereas the biggest issue that agents have is usually making recommendations before they know enough about the person to do so. Right. So you got to be curious. You got to ask the questions. You got to get to know the person in front of you. And I promise you, if you listen, you will learn everything you need to know to be able to close that sale, to be able to get through to that person. And you got to be empathetic, which means that you got to care about what the person in front of you cares about, right? That, like as Christina said, that is something that I do. I care about my clients. I care about real estate. I'm passionate about it. So it's natural for me to get to know somebody and get to find out as much as I can about them because then I can relate to them on a different level. And I can also tell you that doing that will give you the courage to be able to make a recommendation. So when someone tells you, they're waiting, they're uncertain, you have the power to become their friend, to guide them so they trust you, and then you could make a recommendation on what to do next. So I do want you guys to, participate with me here, and I'm going to actually exit out of full screen. But let's see. Okay. So I want you guys to unmute, answer, do whatever you can. But who here could tell me the difference between a condition and an objection? Just unmute yourself. You could do whatever you.
Condition, they're willing to work with you on something, but an objection there, it's like they're non-negotiable type of thing, or they I don't know. What do you feel?
I think it's like the opposite. A condition is like my dog died and I can't sell my house now. Oh my God. And then like an objection would just be like, hey, yeah, this home might not be the right one for me because it doesn't have a bedroom downstairs, but I still really like it. Like there's possibility to overcome it.
Yep. That is exactly right. So Chris, you had the right idea. Just flip-flop Tessa, just like how you said. Sorry, it got a little dark with the dog dying and everything. But I did see in the chat, Sarah, you put like lost a job. That is absolutely correct. So there's two things, a condition and an objection. A condition, you cannot change it. You have no control over it. Nothing you say will do anything to change a condition. An objection, you can overcome it, right? So once you hear that, you got to ask the questions, as I mentioned, you got to be curious about the person in front of you, ask the questions, listen to what they're saying, and have a normal conversation about it. Then you'll be able to identify it and then address it accordingly, right? So we're going to start off with going into conditions. As Sarah mentioned, losing a job or retiring. If someone tells you that they're going to retire, you can't change that. You're not going to tell them, oh, well, just buy a house or do this or whatever. If they're going to retire in 2 years, you're going to have to wait 2 years, right? Kids graduating, all of these different circumstances. Now, I did put having a baby at the bottom here, and that is a condition because some people will tell you, oh, we're waiting until we have the baby in order to make the move, or we're, gonna move before we have the baby, whatever the case may be. That one arguably can be an objection if they tell you that they're gonna wait based on something like that, but you got to see their confidence and then just time it accordingly,
Peter,
right? Yes.
are you, you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, why is that?
I was checking my settings. I thought it was me.
I told you guys I'm not a presenter, so bear with me. Can you see it now?
And Peter's our IT guy too, you guys.
I
So
know, terrible. I'm gonna get fired after this. But with that, can you guys see it again? Good. Okay.
Yep.
So these are all different examples of conditions, right? Someone retiring, you're not going to change it. People telling you about divorce, it's sad. It could sometimes be a great thing. Sometimes people celebrate it, but you can't change that. In California, I don't know about other states, but California, we have that 6 month period. Sometimes people can't do anything until the 6 months are over, or they have to do something and go through court, whatever the case may be, find out information about it. And the best thing to do with the condition is not to just kind of set them off to the side. Set your reminders. Set a reminder to send them a gift for a kid graduating, their retirement, something to reach out to them, and that will make it where they stick and they want to use you, right? So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but if you're going into the next thing, which is objections, right? So for buyers, this is what I really want to drive home because with buyers, you're going to hear objections and they're saying one thing, but they really mean something else. And I put examples up here, and basically, this is what I hear. This is how my mind works. When someone is telling me, oh, they're waiting for the rates to come down, it's not about the rate because you can't control it. I can't control it. And at the end of the day, if you guys ever do the math or get with the lender and do the math, when a rate changes by a 1/4%, it changes it by like, I don't know, $30, $40 a month. To some people, they get stuck on the interest rate number itself, but they don't know the actual effect it has on there. So that's where it goes back to giving them the power to make the decision, giving them the information to make the decision, right? Now, on this here, who wants to pick one of these objections and role play some questions that could ask you to get into the buyer's mind and understand why they're wanting to wait based on that? Quick volunteer, unmute, put it in the chat, choose whichever one you want to do.
Waiting for the price to drop.
Okay, perfect. So Tessa, let's go ahead and start it off. And we could popcorn whoever wants to jump in and then ask a question. So I am the buyer and I'm looking at different properties and I want to wait for the price to drop. What is the first question that someone can think of to start asking to understand more about that?
Um, how much more are you looking for the price to drop for it to make sense for you to buy a home?
That's a great question, right? Price is dropping. Do you mean $1,000? Do you mean $100,000? Do you mean $500,000? What is the price? What does the price need to drop to for you to feel comfortable making that decision? Right? What's another question that you could ask as a follow-up to
Uh,
that? So I'm looking at an $800,000 house, and you could feel free, or if anybody else wants to jump in,
What
$800,000 house, I would feel comfortable if it was 700,000.
yeah, I would go back to like the payment. Like I understand you want the price to be lower, but what about your monthly payment? If we
It
can
would
get the
be,
payment to match what you ideally want, would you be willing to move forward at this time?
yeah, I guess that would make sense, but can you
I don't
get me
know.
a $700,000 payment on an $800,000 home?
If we can get the seller to buy down the interest rate,
Okay. How do we do that?
ask for a seller credit.
Okay. That's
I
very
don't know.
valid. No, that's actually very valid, right? Now, another thing that you could ask, so another thing that I always say is you want to have the buyer kind of answer their own objection, right? So Tessa, I understand you want to wait for this house that's $800,000 to be $700,000. Let's say that were to happen. Do you think that you would be the only buyer interested in that property at that time?
Probably not. No,
Okay. Do you think that you would have some competition at that time to get that home?
I guess.
Okay. And so let me ask you this, is the concern the actual price or are you more worried about the payment? Because you mentioned you're not buying the property cash, correct? You're going to be pulling out a loan for this?
Yeah, correct. I would say like monthly payment, I just have a budget in mind and I don't want to exceed that.
Okay. And so if we can get the home that you love with all the features that you like and we can make the payment fit within your budget, would you be opposed to moving forward on that home?
I think I would be open to it. Yeah.
Okay. So what is that monthly payment that you're comfortable for? And then you go down that road and then you figure out buy downs. You have multiple other ways to get to that end result that the Tessa's wanting in order to make the move, right?
Yeah.
So with that, back to, the book up here and it'll teach you, guess I'm not good at this. So back to the exactly what to say book, he tells you that unless you could start your statement with because you said blank, I would recommend blank, you cannot make a recommendation. And that's where a lot of the agents make a mistake on something. We're always so quick to jump to making a recommendation to giving you advice to trying to convince you to do something or overcoming an objection before we dig in deeper on that objection. Right? If Tessa had told me, oh, I'm waiting for the prices to come down, you're like, oh, okay, cool. I'll check back in with you when the market crashes. Do you know when that is? Is there going to be a magic text message that's going to tell you, hey, Tessa's ready to buy because the market crashed enough for her to feel confident? That's not the thing, right? That's not going to happen. Your job is not to convince them, but your job is to inform them and give them the confidence in order to make that decision, right? These are all other examples. So biggest thing is just understanding what you're hearing and what it actually means, getting to the root of that issue, getting to the root of that objection, so that way you have the power to overcome it, right? And just to be clear, guys, it's not like every single person that tells me they're waiting for something, I'm going to be able to talk to them and convince them or, get them to feel comfortable enough to do something. Sometimes you're going to have to learn to walk away, or you're going to have to learn to just check in at a later time and they'll come back around. That's where you've heard it before, where they say the money is in the follow-up.
And
Use your
not
silence
everybody's
to respond it.
reasonable. There are those people that think that prices should drop down, 20% or more. So those are the people that you have to learn, like they're never gonna be buyers. They're never gonna be happy with the price. They weren't gonna buy back then and they're not gonna buy now. So you walk away.
That is exactly right. And there's going to be people that are stuck on COVID rates, right? We had 2, 3% interest rates. I don't know if those are ever going to come back. I know I've talked to lenders and they've said that's probably never going to come back unless we have another, epidemic or whatever. But chances are it's probably still not going to go down to 2 or 3%. It might be 4 or 5%, whatever the case may be. But getting to the root of that will help you discover, is this person ever going to actually buy, or are they just like to scroll on Zillow and, go and see properties. Now, how many of you guys have ever had a conversation with a buyer and they told you, oh, I regret buying the home when I did? Has anybody here ever heard that from a buyer that bought a home years ago and they said, I regret buying the home, in 2008. I wish I would have waited. Probably never, right? How many of
It
us?
it might be, but it's going to be a condition thing, not a money thing.
Correct. It's not going to be because they made the decision and started building equity. It's going to be more so that life changed, right? If they bought the home and then they got a divorce, they're going to regret buying that home.
I heard
But if
because they
they
didn't like their agent on what they did at the time because they were just trying to make a sale and then now they're upside down on their home.
Absolutely. And that may possibly happen. And that's where your job isn't to convince anybody or sell anything. Like I always joke around with everybody here, but it's true. I'm a crappy salesman, but I will become your friend and I will help you make the right decision that's going to be best for you. Because ultimately, that's what it's about, is about the client, not you. Right? Now, I'm going to go on to sellers. How many of you guys here work with sellers? Right? So when you work with the seller, what's the top objection that everybody hears? I know I put some here on the screen, but if we want to role play a different one that may be more beneficial to everybody, someone put it in the chat or unmute and tell us what it is.
Well, my house is worth $1 million and it should sell in like a week.
Okay. That's exciting. Tessa, what's the actual value of the home, just so we know for the role play?
Oh, okay. We'll say 850.
Okay, cool. So are you wanting to
And my
wait
days
until
on
your
market
home?
are 90.
Yeah. Are you going to be giving me like an objection that you want to wait until the value goes to that or something? Like the first
Uh,
one, waiting for the prices to go up?
well, I'll just do like I have to sell my home, but I think that my price is a lot higher than the value that you're giving me.
Okay. So I hear you, Tessa, and I understand that you want to wait for the price to go up. And, that's a very valid point because you want to get $1 million for your home and the market hasn't quite caught up to that. So I want to understand, what would it take if you were to get that $1 million? What would be your next step?
We're just gonna move out of the country.
Okay. And where are you going to be going off to?
Um, uh, I don't know. I mean, Germany. We're going to Germany.
Okay. Very cool. That's exciting. What's out in Germany?
We're getting relocated for work.
Wow, that's super exciting that you get to go and work in different countries. That is awesome. So you're getting relocated for work, and I understand that the value isn't quite there, so you may want to hold out for a bit. Now, is there a timeline for your relocation?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the next like 3 months.
Okay. Now, is that a hard stop timeline? Like in 3 months, you have to be out in Germany?
I might have some flexibility on that.
Okay. How
Yeah.
much flexibility? Because, you know,
Maybe 4 or 5 months, but I mean, ideally, I want to be out of here in 3 months.
okay. So see, what you're telling me now, it's turning more into a condition because you have to make the move, regardless of what the market says. You're going to have to make that move within 4 or 5 months, unless you plan on renting out your house.
Hmm.
And we'll explore those options, right?
Yeah.
So that's great, Tessa. You have to be out of here within 4 or 5 months. So we could list your home now, and I'm going to give you all the options. We could list your home now, and we could get market value and aim to maximize on that. Or you could turn around and rent your home and deal with it while you're in Germany. Have you ever been a landlord before? And then I'm going to go down that path,
Right.
right? So you could wait, but then your job relocation, that's more of a condition rather than just giving me an objection there.
Hmm. Yeah.
Who else might have an objection that we want to role play?
I don't want to give it away. Kind
Okay.
of the same thing, but when you want to tell them, hey, let's there's lots of out there on the market, like lots of
Yeah.
inventory, but then you're like, well, we need to keep it at a low end price so we can drive, buyers to you.
Right. So, Chris, I hear that you don't want to give away the home. I would never want to give away the home either, right? And that's where I come in. My job is to maximize how much you're going to get for the home and also make it in a timely manner for you, right? So, one small tip is I always go back to their motivation in order to find out how motivated they are to make that move, right? So, I understand that it may not feel like it's the right time or you may feel like you're going to leave money on the table, Chris, but at the end of the day, you mentioned that you have to make this move here within the next 6 months.
Yes.
Okay. And so I know we talked about the home being worth about 900,000 and you're wanting to go towards $1 million, which, I would love to get you $10 million for the home if that was possible. But unfortunately, as we went over the numbers, we're seeing that that may not be possible just due to comparables and even an appraisal being done if we were to find the right buyer for your home. So with that, I want to understand, are you okay with holding off for a while until the market catches up to the price you want?
I mean, we have to move, but I mean, 870 listing at 870 seems a little low.
Right, right. And the thing is, I'm not here to negotiate against you or anything. I just want to educate you so that way you can make the most informed decision. And, we don't want to put the home on the market and it not sell for a long time, or we're chasing the market and then you end up having to accept less money because, as you mentioned, you have to move, right? So if you're not able to make this move within the next 6 months, what happens?
I'm gonna be pissed off at you.
Okay. Now, I understand that and I hear you. And a lot of times people do that, but that's why I educate you up front so that way you can make the best decision because ultimately it's your home. I don't want to discount the home, but I'm telling you and I'm showing you the numbers of what the home realistically is worth. Even if an appraiser was to come in and do an appraisal for a buyer's loan, this is this is most likely the number that they're going to come back with. So if we were to sell it at this price, does that put you in a position to make your move?
Um, I mean, I'm really looking to walk away at like 925,
Okay,
but, I mean, we could see what happens, I guess. Because
sure.
I said before, the market determines where we're at, and I don't have to sell if we don't meet anywhere close to that.
Okay, and that's fair. So what would be plan B if you don't decide to sell?
I just stay put.
Okay, because I know you mentioned earlier you have to be out of here within 6 months. Is that not the case?
I mean, I have to, but if not, then, what am I gonna do?
Right, that's what I want to understand, just so we know best case scenario, we know more likely case scenario, and we know worst case scenario. So what would you do at that point?
I would just stay here and just cancel those plans,
Okay.
but well,
And
let's,
remind me again, what were the plans?
I was planning to move to Texas, so we can go about it that way.
Yeah. And what was out in Texas again?
Work, but I mean, I don't have to go to work out there. I can work out here, you
Okay,
know.
perfect. Now, with moving out to Texas, would that job opportunity present you with a better lifestyle or anything like that, or is it better for you to stay out here?
Just I guess better lifestyle. Not getting you're gonna get paid as much, obviously, because I'm in a different state, but Just
But the
go see
cost
my
of living
family.
also is lower.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. Well, you know what, Chris? I know your target is the 920 range. Realistically, the market is showing about 870. So would you rather hold off and see what happens with the market, or would you rather just go for it now and we try and maximize on that and get you to Texas so you could have a better lifestyle for the family and, potentially, I know it's less money that you're actually earning on paper, but overall your costs are lower. So does it pencil out to being where you're earning more money out there?
I mean, we could try, if we can get anywhere, like I said, close to that. I don't know, maybe 10,000 less or whatever. Like I can have a bridge, a gap right there. But so, you said you're the best, so let's see what we could do.
Absolutely. And I know I'm the best person to get this job done for you. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page and expectations are realistic. So if we're closer to 870, 880, and that's, more than $10,000 off from yours, are you willing to make that move?
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to be over in nines, a little over nine. So I
Okay.
guess I'll just have to wait.
Yeah. And
Or I
again, we
might,
can wait.
yeah.
We can definitely wait. Now, do you see or do you expect the market to go up any further?
No one knows, but
Absolutely.
no, if
Now, are
if
you a gambler or would you rather take the safe route and get as much as you can right now?
I'm a gambler, baby.
Hey, I get it. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and then we could hold off. How long do you think it's going to take for the market to catch up to your price?
Mm, I'd say, I don't know. Maybe we could try again, start talking end of December, see how things are going at the end of quarter four.
Okay. Now, if it goes the complete opposite and now the home is worth 750, what would you do at that point?
I mean, then we're not gonna have any conversation. I'll just stay where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like I could transfer if I need to. If not, then whatever.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cut the role play here, but you see how I'm just asking questions and he's answering himself kind of, I hate to say it, but you're finding out how dumb some of the stuff that you're saying comes out to be, where it's like, oh, I'm going to take a gamble. Yeah, if it crashes, then it crashes. I'm going to just stay put. If he had the motivation to move, then he's going to move. But clients do realistically have that, and they're just kind of stuck on the number that they have in mind. And that's really where it comes down to just finding out their motivation. And then also for you as an agent, I got to figure out if it's worth it for me to spend the thousands of dollars I'm going to spend on marketing your home or just move on with life. Because I've taken over price listings. Because anybody here taken over price listings that could raise their hand if they have tested the market and it turns into a pain in the ass trying to convince them and explain everything later on. So that is where going back to this book, you're going to be curious. You're going to find out as much as you can. You can empathize with the people. You could walk them through the thought process so they feel confident in making the right decision for them. Chris is going to hold off. With Tessa, she's going to hold off until her, relocation happens or she's going to move because $1 million is not realistic. So I have the link here. If you guys want to take a picture of that or scan it, it's going to take you to Amazon. It's going to take you where you could buy the book. It's like 10 bucks. Highly recommend it. If you have an Amazon account, I think you get the audiobook for free. He has a British accent. I don't know if it's him reading it or if it's somebody else, but if you're into that, scan the code and get that. And the last thing, this is where if you're going to take one thing away from here, your job is not to eliminate it completely. Your job is not to convince anybody about uncertainty, but you got to build enough certainty and confidence for someone to make their move. And so that is all I have for you guys. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, situations, problems?
I had a question, Peter.
Yes.
So, hearing you have these conversations with clients every day, I was just curious how important tonality is to you. Because I feel like your tonality is always great every time you're discussing these things with the client.
So tonality is very high. I don't remember the percentage breakdown that they've broken down in coaching, but I do recommend standing up. On all the other calls I've heard, like everybody that's standing up, they have a little bit more energy, but you got to keep your tone leveled out. You don't want the upswings, you don't want the uncertainty because you're trying to instill certainty in your clients. If your tone indicates any kind of uncertainty to a client, they're not going to trust you. They're not going to feel confident to move forward. So I'd say very important. But it's also very important that you have the knowledge in order to make suggestions. So that's where asking the questions is probably the most important thing. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I think I'm hitting the 30-minute mark. If you guys want to connect with me, again, that has all my links. That is my direct cell phone number. If you want a link to the book, if you have any questions, you want to run a situation by me, you want to role play, you want to do anything, you are more than welcome to contact me at any time. All right. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Peter.
You're
Thank you,
very
Peter.
welcome. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.